going on, guys? We are back with another issue of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This time, we are going to be focused on Michelangelo for book 2. So it looks like with each individual copy, at least for the first 4, we're going to be focused on a different turtle. So started with Raph, now we're on to see what Mikey's been up to. And so this is Return to New York Part 2, and this is Super Mutant Turtle Power Go. So we see Mike's on a motorcycle. He's paragliding or hang gliding over to a big kaiju monster, surfing, speaking Japanese. You got a little theme song playing, and you're like, well, what the hell's going on? Okay, well, turn the page. Yeah, and it's just he's part of a TV show now. And so he accidentally cracks one of the stuntmen with his nunchucks and, brings everything to a screeching halt. And everybody's like, well, what are you doing, Mike? Those are made of foam. He's like, oh, shit, I forgot. My bad. And so I do want to take a quick moment. I'm not that fond of the look of the turtles in this particular issue. They look okay. Their heads are a little too humanoid for my taste. I prefer them like a touch wider, maybe a little bit more shallow, but that's really extremely nitpicky. I'm just pointing that out. Some iterations I like more than others, and I did prefer what we had in the previous issue as far as the artwork is concerned. So over here we're now getting some inner monologue, just about what it takes to master the nunchucks, and basically he's talking about how he's got to beat the shit out of himself in order to do that. This is something that requires a lot, and why there's not a lot of people involved in using nunchucks. And yeah, he's big time celebrity. He's going out to fancy dinners. He gets to meet the chef there, and he's talking to him. He's like, man, this is some of the best meals I've ever had. This is fantastic. I love every bit of it. And then, we get a little self-reflection, and he's like, actually, I lied. Though this meal is super expensive, this isn't the best meal I have. And we see over here, he's reflecting on his time with his brothers. So, now we've seen both with Raph and Mikey, they're longing for the days of the past where the 4 were together. So what split them all up? And so, he's in his little studio apartment or whatever. I mean, it looks like a studio apartment. It looks like that's just a partial wall. So maybe I'm wrong in that. But either way, he's in his real fancy like hotel apartment, whatever. He's eating frozen pizza. He's crashed out. And he says that the pizza must have been expired or something. It's not agreeing with him. And then suddenly, big lights come in, and we got some Foot Clan showing up. They're all lit up, and they're just coming in to beat the shit out of them. And it dawns on Mikey during this that he's like, "Oh shit, I've been poisoned." That's what was wrong with the pizza. I'm not on top of everything. So he goes out to fight, and wouldn't you know it, he grabbed the wrong nunchucks. He's got the foam ones. So he's continuing to get the shit beat out of him, and he's like, I'm realizing now that I'm gonna die here, and he starts to reflect. I really wish that I could hear my brother's insults one last time. Well, old Mikey gets his wish, because of the poison, he's starting to picture his brothers. So we got Leo, Raph, Donnie down here, all taking turns insulting him, beating the shit out of him, calling him immature and all that. And he decides, he's put up with himself, he's beating himself up all the time. He's put up with a whole bunch. He's not going to take this shit anymore. And I'm going to make note of something. Something he says, I is like how he beats himself up. He says right here, I go to the articles about me and read the comments. Now, I do have issue with that in particular. I think for any 4 of them, reading comments on the internet after all that they've been through, I don't think is really going to bother them that much. I think they're just going to be like, whatever. Especially being mutants and used to people kind of looking at them in a weird way. So I had some issue with that. I'm like, yeah, for normal everyday humans, I could see that being an issue, but for everything that the turtles themselves have gone through, I really doubt that they would think much as far as what comment section might say about them. Especially no faces. So when you got people that are actively trying to kill you, saying mean things online, I'm not buying that one. But again, a little nitpicky there. And then whoever's he's imagining as Raph hits him real hard. He throws up a little bit of the poison, and he starts to feel a little better. He's grabbing some diamond nunchucks and starts to throw down. Now, I do really like a lot of the diamond nunchuck artwork that we get here with all the reflections. I really enjoy that. So he starts going to town, beating the hell out of everybody. And, he's once again reflecting on his brothers and thinking, they wouldn't see me for who I am. They would just, see me as same old Mikey. And that's when somebody calls to him over here. Calls him Mikey. And that's when, here we got Raph. So Raph's like, hey, I got here as quick as I could, but it looks like the Foot Clan beat me. And instead of teaming up, Mikey turns on Raph. And the Foot Clan have now made note of the second turtle and have sent in more reinforcements. Now, my question here is, why couldn't they have sent them in a little bit more? In the first place, did they feel that they had everything under control? Or, if they're really trying to wipe them out, why not just send full force? So, that is a little bit of an issue here. But yeah, nevertheless, more of the Foot Clan come in. And, it doesn't really seem like Michelangelo's too interested in fighting with them. He'd rather pick his fight with Raph. And that's where we're going to end it for now. So, I do have a little bit more issue with this one than the previous one for everything I just noted here. Something as nitpicky as just I didn't care for the look of them. And then I would still say nitpicky, but a little bit more, or, a little bit more than just a nitpick. We're kind of borderline there with the mean tweet or, mean comments, mean tweets, whatever, about him. I'm like, okay. But the biggest issue I have is the Foot Clan not going all out when it looks like they are, in fact, trying to get rid of the turtles. It's like, why not just send everybody? Just that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But overall, I still enjoy this one. Now, I would say I enjoy issue 1 more, but we still have a good solid entry here. I liked the whole he went out to go be like a movie star kind of thing. I thought that was interesting and not completely out of his character. So I like what I'm seeing here. And I am kind of curious as to why he wants to just pick a fight with Raph as opposed to deal with the Foot Clan first. That may still be some of the effects of the poison. Just, he's made mention that his judgment's a bit clouded there. So that's what I am going to at least go with at this time. And then we're going to see the conclusion of this in the next issue, where we're going to be focused more on Leonardo. So, but yeah, again, I've already read all of these. I can tell you I like all of them. Like I'm not gonna give any of these anything less than a recommendation. I think we're in these first 9 issues at least we got something pretty strong. So, but that is all I've got today, guys. So until next time, take care and God bless.